Hi, babe. We are jumping timelines today. That's what we're going to talk about. That's going to be the focus. But we're also going to work on any blockages that may be in the present. Just with all this retrograde energy, it's testing us, and we can feel that energy, right? I can. Whew. Let's get this started. Let's clean these cards out with all of this energy that is chaotic. All that is. Whew. That's all I can say. Whew. So, let's get us started. If you are new to this channel, I do a 3-card pool reading. I have just kind of mixed it up a little bit. We're going to just shuffle them right in front of us just in case there's any non-believers. I'm just kidding. But seriously, we are going to figure this out together. We're going to jump timelines. We're going to talk about jumping timelines. We are going to practice the law of attraction and talk about some of that energy today. Ooh, yes, there has been some karmic situationships, as I like to call them, that have been getting in the way of some of our manifestations, or it felt like it is getting in the way, and it's actually going back into balance with this transition period. We're actually okay. So most retrogrades, people will have like this stigma about them. They're totally awful, and don't get me wrong, in a lot of ways they really are. Oh, I need a drop. I dropped this. Hold up. He definitely wanted to be on the ground. Makes sense. That's where you belong. Seriously, though. There has been some situations coming up from the past or something that has been very reflectory of the past just to kind of test your stability and your response to situationships. And, we've been doing really well on holding our grounding, but this is your confirmation. These readings are for confirmation of the energy. We have had some oppression. This was the first card that came out. It flew out too. We have been going through some things that have been trying to distract us and hold us back, basically, because like the universe always does this thing. If you're going through like a really big change in your life, or you're just about to, you're gonna have a tower moment. I'm surprised the tower card honestly didn't come out. It probably would have if I kept shuffling. But the thing is it's actually a lot to do with karmic relationships. This is what's really the focus right now. I don't know why. Because maybe love is very important to us ultimately as like humanity, society goes. So the devil is very good representation of just karma in general, but also we have the relationship aspect because we have this masculine here and this feminine energy, and they're connected to source. They're connected to everything, and this energy is what basically keeps the two in balance. You see how he has the below, above. This is the universe basically, and it's union, it's connection with everything. And so there's been this karmic relationship in particular where the female is dancing around doing her own thing. The masculine's just kind of basically watching her, not doing his own inner work. Very distracted, very for both of them too, because sometimes we get a little caught up in these situationships. But I want to let you know, the last card that I pulled was Peace Restored. It was 344 as soon as I picked it up too. So, Peace Restored. Don't fret, my little one. There is some justice coming your way. We didn't get the Justice card either, but I can feel it in the air. We will breathe here in a moment. But okay, so jumping timelines is so essential because it allows you to feel inner peace. Like when you understand that you are jumping timelines, you can be in the attitude and the presence of you receiving and deserving that receival. So a lot of the times, and I talk about this in my past video, blockages, energy blockages for your manifestations. It's a very good one to watch too and coincide with this. But like our self-doubt will really be our main blocker. Like we will have inner self-doubt, and I know this sounds ridiculous, well, you get kind of stuck, right? You get stuck in like, well, I know that I deserve it, but I don't feel like I deserve it, so what am I going to do to get out of that feeling? It's chaotic. I know, I've been there. But like to be real and blunt with you, there's no real honest way to get out of that headspace unless you just allow yourself to. So it takes some dedication, but you are totally capable of doing it. You are totally over, you know, a lot of these situationships, karmic situations, they come up to make you feel okay with being in receiving mode. So like it feels like it's a little like it's a little redundant, or it has the opposite effect, but it actually like allow yourself to think about this. So, like, when we come into a toxic situation, we can understand that it's toxic. We see a lot more than what we used to see, and now we can respond to it better. You feel much more empowered that way, and you can understand, like, your place in the situation, like the things you may have caused, the things you may have done or said, and you're able to reflect on it much better and healthier, have a healthier perspective. And so that allows you to understand that you are deserving of a lot more. It takes like a lot of push, like from the universe and from other people, like reconfirming things, because we don't listen to our first confirmations. I know seriously don't, but we don't listen to that first reading. It takes like quite a few confirmations, because we're like, you sure about that, universe? Because I don't know, my feelings be telling me something else. And yeah, so it's okay to be wrong. It's okay to get caught up in emotions, and but the thing is when we jump timelines, we can basically bypass a lot of this karma. And it's not necessarily like, saying that you should be like neglecting all of like the shadow aspect. You're not going to be neglecting shadow work by doing this. So don't it's 2:55. Don't watch this video and think that, you're never going to have to do some inner work, because the inner work kind of coincides with the jumping timelines. Because when you're okay with your presence, you're okay, and you feel gratitude for the things that you have and you've received already, and you're much more in tune with happiness, and your attitude, your mental stability is the most ideal aspect of law of attraction. You have to have a clear mental space. You have to have a clear idea of what you want to manifest and let it come to you. So you have to really grasp energy. You really have to understand it on a mental note and then allow it to happen. So by jumping timelines, you are basically saying, this is for me. This is what I want. It's going to happen. It may not happen exactly the way I want it to, or ideally think it should happen, but it's going to happen. And it's going to eliminate so many of my problems. I'm not going to have to deal with any of the karma that's involved. Anybody else's karma is going to jump right back to them. Anything that they do or say about me is going to go and reflect right back on them, because we are a mirror, babe. And any type of karmic situation that you're in anyway is going to mirror back to the other person. So if you were in your purest form of intention, you basically not necessarily did anything wrong, but you were in your own form of right and attitude, and you responded to it healthily, then that karma is going to go somewhere else. It's not going to be your problem. It's not going to be something to deal with, even though it may feel like it. It is not our energy. So that is the basic thing that you have to understand of jumping timelines. Now, well, but how am I supposed to just be in receival mode? How is the universe going to come into alignment with me just jumping a timeline? Basically, what you're telling the universe is that you understand karma, you understand the world and how it works, you understand energy, reciprocation, and now you are okay with everything that you deserve. You know that you deserve better. You know that you deserve more in life. Now, that doesn't necessarily coincide with materialism. Don't get me wrong, though, because we are manifesting material things for us, because there's nothing wrong with wanting money. We're not here to block your money or your abundance. There's nothing wrong with wanting love. There's nothing wrong with wanting lust, babe. I know it sounds silly, but there's no such thing as sin. Anyway, we are here to jump timelines so we can get into the mode of wanting and knowing we deserve that want. So your shadow, okay, just a little recap of shadow. So your shadow is your ego's desires. It is your innermost wants. It has nothing to do with needs. It can coincide with needs as far as like financial gain, but it's not like you have to get rid of the right and the wrong. There is no left, there is no right. There is only where we go with the energy. We flow with energy. So maybe it sounds like a little too open-minded, but if you this is just a general concept. You can utilize this for any other timeline. If you want to be a creator, if you want to be an artist, if you want to be a musician, a poet, if you want to just have a great career or just manifest like the significant other, honestly, you can do these things by following these basic concepts of jumping timelines because it seems, and I've done this physically, I know it sounds silly, but I've literally jumped. I made my ex-husband jump too, but we both jumped together and we had a shift in our entire universe. Like, I completely changed routes. No, we're not together anymore, but we completely changed routes and directions in life. We did a lot of healing work. We did separate ourselves, but that was for the best, not going into details. But there are things that you do, and when you are okay with the change and you understand that the change is going to be in your best interest, it may take you out of your comfort zone. We'll talk about that one next. But it's going to, and you don't have to physically jump, by the way. That was just, it is, you want to jump timelines with pure intentions and full intentions, and that's just basically why I did it that way, and I'm going to probably do it some more. But like, we literally jump. And when you understand that, like, okay, so take deja vu, or what is it called, I can't think of the word, but when things kind of like little bits of pieces of the universe change in little tiny details, like, you can understand that there's a shift of timelines happening in the present always, no matter what, anyway. So I say this a lot. The universe is already created. We are here to open doorways and pathways and change directions on which we choose. The universe responds to us communicating to it. So that communication, though, can be complicated when we're overwhelmed with our thoughts and we're overthinking and we can't conceptualize specifics on what we want to make and create. So that's why it does take your side of effort. It does require your side of the work. However, when you understand, and this is why theta waves, music, and just aligning yourself completely into a timeline will help you manifest it much faster. And I promise you it can happen overnight. It's about to happen overnight for me because I have gotten so many signs, and I am finally in the ready to receive. I had to go through a lot of karmic learning, a lot of karmic energy, but I have just made a decision to jump timelines because I've done it before. I know it works, and we're going to just leave the past where it belongs because new, fresh energy will always heal the things that we thought were not there anymore. So yeah, some things may come up when you're jumping timelines, but that's just like a little test. It's going to make sure that these are the things that you want, because when you do jump timelines, things really do happen fast, and you have to be okay and ready for that type of energy in order to actually, be in balanced when it happens, because it can be really overwhelming, the attention that you receive from your successes, the money that you receive from, you're like, well, how does it, I don't know if I deserve all this, and so you get jumbled, and then you start overspending, or you do some things that are chaotic, and that's what we're trying to avoid when we are in the full abundance mode, when we're in our main character energy. We don't want to freak out, we don't want to overwhelm ourselves when we're shifting timelines, because I can promise you it is magnetic. It is a magnetic connection, and it can combust if we don't respond to it correctly. So that's why the universe basically tests you. So now that that's said, confirmations are very important to understanding that things are happening for you versus to you. So really respond and be in tune with your intuition, because when you're confirming, when you're allowing and you're receiving, then you can basically find a better path, or the 303, or essentially, like I say, there's no right or wrong, but that you can find a path that makes more sense to you and will create much more happiness, because basically the universe wants you to be happy. Like, that is its ultimate goal, is to reward you and make you happy with your present moment, with the things that are already in your life, but the things that it's going to give you as well. So like, it's not going to give you a bunch of things if it's just going to cause more chaos in your life. Although you can be stuck in karmic cycles that way. That's a whole nother video, a whole nother topic. I do have some videos on that, karma 101 and karma magic 101. You can watch those as well. But it's very you have to understand pathways lead somewhere in order to, and it's essentially not, if you want to surprise yourself, you don't have to follow the intuitive side, but it really helps you get in that mindset. So I definitely highly recommend it, following your intuition, learning how to receive confirmations and how to understand those confirmations better, because that will allow you to shift your mindset as well into the abundance, like full abundance mode, right? So be confident in what you're manifesting, basically, because when you're confident, you're much happier, and you know that you are, you manifested this is for you, it works for you, and it's meant for you. And that is like the best way to confirm a jumping, the timeline jump, is to confirm that you are deserving, basically. Like, there's no much, that's not much more to put to it, but like, that's like ultimately its goal, is to make you happy and let you know that the things that are going on in your life happen for you, not to you. So like, when we have to let go of people, especially when we have to let go of old jobs, old careers, or like a 9 to 5, toxic instability that was in our comfort zone, for sure. You gotta leave your comfort zone. That was actually the next one I wanted to talk about. So leaving your comfort zone. It can be, and this goes right back into confidence. This can be really overwhelming, leaving your comfort zone. If you're okay with like where you are, like you don't feel like you need more money, or like you're just basically like, I don't really want to change. I don't want to change who I am. I don't want to change the things going on. But like, let's be real. If we want more, and if we want to experience different things, then you have to leave your comfort zone, because your comfort zone is where everything else used to be. Like, leave that comfort zone and see how much happens for you, and changes around you, because change is a blessing. Like, we all need like some fresh air. We all need some like change of environment. Traveling is amazing, and all of these things, like, they bring so much more life into us when we get to see new things, experience new things, and that comes along with leaving your comfort zone. And so you gotta try things that make you uncomfortable, babe. It's okay. I know it's overwhelming, but we're here to zen you out and make you understand that leaving your comfort zone is not going to be a disaster. That tower moment is just a confirmation that your life is changing. So it may seem really stressful at first, but if you let go of that stress and understand that all of these things are happening to push you out of your comfort zone, like, let me just go with this. So I lost my job. I had some seizures, not trying to get into too much detail. It's not a pity story, but like, I had a lot of mental health problems, and my memory was reduced, a lot of stress factors. I wasn't able to hold a job very well because of the things going on in my immediate life. And so it became really hectic, and I got stuck in this karmic loop of like not wanting to receive because there was just too much chaos going on. And then I finally realized, like, this is actually a way to slow me down, because me as a Virgo has the ambitious creature that I am, I have always been a go-getter. I have always been go, 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 go. And sometimes we gotta slow ourselves down to be in the present moment, have gratitude for our family, have gratitude for life, love, happiness, and just being okay with what we have right now. But like, leaving your comfort zone will like make you feel unstable at first if you're not used to it, which is basically the idea of leaving your comfort zone anyway. So like know that there's it's going to like your bank account might be empty now, but it's going to change in just a few days. You can do all kinds of manifestation work, and like you basically you got to be out of the fear. Get out of the fear element when you're leaving your comfort zone, and know that trust in the universe is ideally the best headspace that you can be in for receiving. So that will allow you to jump timelines more than I honestly feel like than anything else on this video. So leaving your comfort zone is the most important thing. So you got to try new things. You have to understand that your old concepts of money and making money, like at a 9 to 5, it was not ideal. It was a basically an enslavement system. You were working for somebody else's dream. I mean, do you really like flipping those burgers? I mean, I do like cheeseburgers, but it, all that grease on your face and just it was not fun. I was a yeah. Let's actually I'm hungry now. But like, you know what I mean? Like just because we are okay with what we're doing currently doesn't necessarily mean that's like the ultimate way of life. There's so many other things that we can do, and like we are, we can completely take on a whole new role of life. Like me personally, I had so much brain trauma. It was so hard for me to multitask, and it took time for me to learn how to multitask again. But like I really had like this an epiphany, like, like the seizures didn't have to hold me down. The seizures were actually like kind of a blessing in disguise. And I know that sounds a little weird, sounds a little dark, but it really was like it kind of got me out of that element where I had to work 24/7 in order to have stability in my life. There was stability coming through all other forms of connections, through other people, like donating to me, not for like anything specific, but like I have the Twitch, I have some other accounts. I have like, I stream on other platforms and people will donate to me. And then, I was doing tarot readings. I was receiving a lot of money for that, and then spell work and stuff like that. So it like there was abundance coming in different ways. I just had to finally accept that I was receiving, and it was a blessing. And me leaving that 9 to 5, it was really stressful because I want to support my family. I want to be there financially for other people, but I gotta have a full cup in order to pour in other people's cups. Basically, another big one with jumping timelines. Like you gotta be ready for this change, and you got to understand maybe have like a backup plan, but don't dwell on the backup plan, because like the backup plan is probably going to make you overthink and like get a little chaotic where you're like, "Oh, I should I should just stick with this other plan real quick." And that will get you stuck back in the karmic cycle. But like, okay, going back to my personal story, like I had a lot of trauma, I had a lot of injuries, and my memory was really, really hard. So, like, I couldn't remember my dad's birthday. I couldn't remember people's names. I couldn't remember, like, people that I experienced things, like, recently with. That is just one of the downfalls of having seizures, epilepsy. You get a lot of brain trauma, your memory gets fogged. There's what's called aura seizures. Basically you get like hallucinations and stuff like that. So it was destabilizing my mental space. It was making things really chaotic for me because I was always like, oh, this is happening to me, all of this and blah blah blah. And when I finally realized that I can heal, I healed through mushroom therapy, psychedelic therapy, microdosing therapy. And then I was started to regain, and I also took other mushrooms too, like lion's mane's really good, cordyceps. There's quite a few other ones. Blue oyster. All of these mushrooms are really great for healing your brain, and making stronger neurological connections for you. So that's just a side note, but like the moral of the story was I thought that, I wasn't going to ever get back to my highest duty, my highest self, and so I felt like really stuck where I was. But what had happened is I did a lot of healing and I realized that I was capable of multitasking again. I did that with my last job. It took a little bit of time, but I was sitting there on multiple devices, like two or three at a time, helping different customers, and I was like, "Wow, I'm mentally capable of a lot more than I was just a few months ago." Like my last seizure, I think was like 9 months ago. And after that last one, I was in a mental hospital and stuff too. Like there was a lot of things that happened with epilepsy. It's really crazy. But like you can overcome these situations, and when you start to realize that you're overcoming the situation, you grow this empowerment, that you grow this strength in you, and you can realize that that just because something bad happened to you doesn't necessarily mean it is your default. That is not going to define you. And so I started becoming much more of a multitasker. I was able to get into a different work ethic, and I started to go back to school for data science, which I don't know if you're familiar with, probably not. It has a lot to do with databases, numbers, um, data, so names, places, and things, and you have to like connect these things through code language. And so I've basically been taking on a whole new mental thing. So I've grown a lot of my mental capabilities back. And I did that through inner work. So what I'm telling you, basically from my story, is that you are capable of doing so much. And I hope that really resonates today. I'm going to cut it short because it is a little bit longer than what I wanted to. I want to condense these back down to 20 minutes each. But I hope today's video resonates. I hope it allows you to understand jumping timelines better, and it allows you to get into that mode, because that's what we're here for. I love you. I hope you have a great equinox. Don't forget to make your new moon water. I believe it's like in a couple of days. My phone hasn't warned me yet, so I'm still not sure. But you guys have a great one, and create that stability in your life because you deserve it. Bye.